Hare Krishna, everyone welcome to ISKCON of New Jersey, Towaco Temple. We will be broadcasting very shortly, in about 5 minutes, with His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. Thank you very much for joining.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't it? I know for sure. Haribol, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Vaishnav Prabhu. How are you?
Good.
Hare Krishna.
He
unmute करे तो क्या फर्क है?
he does this sometimes.
I muted it કેમ કે પછી તમારે તમે ફોનની વાત બધી સંભળાઈ જાય બધાને.
Oh yeah, that's right. Very good. Yeah, right. Yeah, he knew that I was on phone.
Oh.
Wow, that's good.
So he can do it.
Yeah. He has all the buttons there.
Oh,
he is Antaryami, you know.
I have the superpower.
Hey, Rupalaji.
Haribol.
Okay.
He is Madan Gopal, he knows everything.
Oh yes. Yes.
I was wondering कि तुम्हें hello केम न किए थे? मदन गोपाल ने कहा हाँ?
No, when I first started, તમારે
I was wondering
Oh wait, it's coming from. So how are you, Prabhu? Mataji?
Just going on, just going for a walk and come back and do some exercise. And
Okay. Suppose the thief and ecologist captures, marks, and release 100 koalas.
All right. Haribol, Nilmani Prabhu.
Nirmalji.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
So we're waiting for Amarendra Prabhu. I'm not sure if he's joined yet.
You can just start some kirtan otherwise.
Yeah. His illustrious brother has joined. Arjun Sakha Prabhu is here.
Acha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. We can't see you, Prabhu.
Turn on your camera. Nayana Patagami. Hey, there you are. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Arjun Prabhu and Amarendra Prabhu, they both showed up at the same time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Krishna.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, it's time. Let's get started. I see Amarendra Prabhu has joined. Let's see where. There he is. Yeah. Unmute your line, Prabhu. Amarendra Prabhu. Ilmani Prabhu, you can go ahead and introduce.
You're going to do any kirtan? A couple of minutes kirtan and then we'll introduce and start? Or
maybe you can introduce and then Amarendra Prabhu can lead us in kirtan.
Okay. Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody to today's Sangha, today's Krishna Katha program. So today we have a very, very special speaker, His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. Again, I think virtually everybody here probably knows Amarendra Prabhu. I'm sure they've heard him many times in different settings, in different classes. Just in case someone's not quite sure who Amarendra is or hasn't heard of him, a very brief introduction about Amarendra Prabhu and then we'll continue. So Amarendra Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj, who of course is a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada and is very well known for his Bhagavad Kathas, Bhagavad and classes on Srimad Bhagavatam. As a disciple of Radha Govinda Maharaj, Amarendra Prabhu aspires to preach and practice the message of the scriptures far and wide as possible. And in this endeavor, he's traveled all over the world to many cities, spreading this Krishna consciousness. Also, when he travels, he preaches in universities, temple congregations. He has many, many classes on social media, such as YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook. And even when he was a student, he was preaching aggressively, has been part of many student conferences, and participated in interfaith programs for science, spiritual synthesis. Academically, he is a master's in electrical engineering from University of Massachusetts, and I think he's also just now finished his MBA, and he holds a Bhakti Shastri degree from Mayapur. So he also is very grateful to His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami for being a very strong pillar in his life, motivating and guiding him, as well wishes to his family for selflessly sacrificing their personal interests for making him a devotee of the Lord, and to all the devotees worldwide who have lovingly nourished and nurtured him with priceless care and intense prayers and sincere blessings. So apart from all that, Amarendra Prabhu is someone I look up to very, very dearly as my god brother personally, and someone I call from time to time for some instruction from scriptures or from some references from scriptures. He's just a master in Sanskrit and master of all of the various scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm very, very grateful that he's agreed to be here with us tonight and give some wonderful Krishna Katha. So thank you so much again, Amarendra Prabhu, for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So is it a good time to begin, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, begin. And if you like, optionally, you can do a couple of minutes of kirtan, or if you prefer, you can just go straight into class as you like.
Okay. Maybe in the interest of time, I will go straight into the class.
Okay.
Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha-Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. I am very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much, dear Nilamani Prabhu, dear Madan Gopal Prabhu, and all the senior Vaishnavas present there. Thank you so much for kindly taking me in your warm embrace and giving me this opportunity to serve all the Vaishnavas this evening. I want to offer my obeisances to all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are assembled here. I want to start off by offering my obeisances to His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj and all the senior Vaishnavas who are present and who are very mercifully, very kindly giving their auspicious association through virtual communication. I bow down at the lotus feet of my dear beloved Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj, from whose lotus lips I continue to and aspire to hear Hari Katha all my life and lifetime after lifetime. And whatever I will be speaking will only be a small remnant of years and years of Hari Katha that he has blessed the world with. I bow down at the lotus feet of all the wonderful, illustrious, senior Prabhupada disciples who are walking on this planet and blessing Mother Earth in their ripe old age, irrespective of how many health problems they're having because of old age and excessive traveling. Still, they're burning and bleeding with compassion, looking at the fallen condition state of all the conditioned souls in this world. I bow down to all of them. I bow down at the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, by whose causeless mercy and diligent endeavor, this very wonderful Gaura Leela Katha has spread far and wide to practically every home in this world. I bow down at the lotus feet of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, who inspired and empowered our dear Prabhupada to bless all of us by giving his association through his transcendental literature. I bow down at the lotus feet of Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya, who discovered the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And during a gloomy time, where there have been times of sunshine and gloomy shade in the Gaudiya Parampara because of creeping in of Apasampradayas, I want to bow down at the lotus feet of Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya, Sachitananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who at the time of so many Apasampradayas creeping in, single-handedly through the sword of his pen, cut through all of this and wrote more than 100 songs benedicting and blessing us with transcendental wisdom. I bow down at the lotus feet of the 6 Goswamis, who, out of extreme compassion, gave up all their lucrative, aristocratic, high positions of authority, material prowess, and came down to our level to help us and uplift us by living under trees, living with a kopin, with a water pot and the holy name, writing so many transcendental literatures, installing so many deities and building so many temples, discovering lost places in Vrindavan, and through practical example, creating Vaishnav culture. Last but not the least, I bow down at the lotus feet of Shachinandan Gaurahari for very kindly and lovingly accepting the bleeding plea of Advaita Acharya and walking down with his lotus footsteps in this dark, dirty, degraded, polluted age of Kali Yuga to bless us with something that we don't desire or deserve, the most beautiful, ripened, juicy fruit of the spiritual world, divine, ecstatic, transformative, selfless, unconditional, uninterrupted, unmotivated, transcendental love for Radha and Krishna. I bow down to the Panchatattva for helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taste this and distribute this far and wide. I bow down to each and every Acharya in our parampara for being the transparent via medium, carrying the baton of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and bringing it down to ant-like jivas crawling on the floor of Kali Yuga and giving them the taste of the beautiful mango pulp of Krishna Bhakti. Thank you, everyone. So today, we have a very interesting topic. We are going to discuss the glories of Gadadhara Pandit. But before that, we want to just rewind a bit. We want to go to the most beautiful contribution of Sripad Madhavendra Puri. Couple of days from now is the start of the Chandan Yatra. It is the most glorious Akshaya Tritiya, I believe on Saturday, 25th of April. It is on the day of Akshaya Tritiya when Chandan Yatra, or 3 weeks or 21 days period of very lovingly smearing sandalwood pulp on the body of the Supreme Lord, this festival begins. As we know, it gets very hot in India during summertime. And to protect the deities with very loving, affectionate covering from the scorching sunlight, the devotees smear sandalwood pulp. The Chaitanya Charitamrita describes very wonderfully that Sripad Madhavendra Puri at Govardhan was inspired in his dream by Gopal. Gopal appeared in his dream and said, "Oh dear Madhavendra Puri Pad, I have been here in the groves of Govardhan for such a long time. I've been here generation after generation, and I have no one to serve me. I'm stuck between the thorny bushes here. I feel very, very hot. There's no one around me, and because of being completely smothered here, I feel very hot. My temperature in the body is very high. Please kindly, lovingly take me out of this place. Install me on the throne of love, and kindly introduce this practice of serving my lotus feet amidst the Brajbasis." Sripad Madhavendra Puri, very kindly, very lovingly, he followed the dictation in the dream, and he went to the place. And by the divine inspiration of Gopal, Madhavendra Puri, he got Gopal out. That Gopal, that Krishna, who pulls living beings while we are caught in the thorns of the heat and the meshes of this birth, old age, disease, death cycle in this material world. That Krishna who lifts us up, and he's called Dina Bandhu, the friend of the poor. He who's called Karuna Sindhu, the ocean of mercy. He who's called Patita Pavan, the uplifter of the fallen. He who's ultimately Jagannath, the Lord of everyone, who extends his hands down and pulls us out from the well of sense gratification. Bhakta Paya Bhujanga Garuda Mani Trailokya Rakshamani. Our Mukundamala Stotra King Kulashekara explains. Krishna, through his expansion of Vishnu, sits on the back of Garuda, and with his 4 hands, 2 hands ahead, in front of the wings of Garuda, and 2 hands behind the wings of Garuda, he dips down into this ocean of material existence. And Vishnu on the back of Garuda with his 4 arms, between the flapping of Garuda's wings, he pulls up living beings from the ocean of material existence. That Supreme Lord who lifts us up, he very lovingly gave the service of lifting him up from the meshes of the groves of Vrindavan and from being troubled by the heat of the summer. And this was given to Madhavendra Puri. Sripad Madhavendra Puri very lovingly removed Gopal from that place, installed him, had a very wonderful festival, bathed him to cool down the body temperature. He had hours and hours of bathing and gave him a big feast, installed him very wonderfully, and later there was a temple built. He gave the service of Gopal to all the Brajbasis. Gopal was very happy. But because he lived in the, he lived under the groves for a long time, Gopal inspired in another dream to Madhavendra Puri that the heat of my body has still not come down. Oh dear Madhavendra Puri, can you kindly get sandalwood, chandan, and karpur, camphor? Can you bring this for me and smear on my body to cool my temperature down? Please kindly bring it from the Malayan region. So imagine if our deity told us, the deity whom we worship at home, imagine our deity told us that, oh dear worshipper, can you walk from here in Atlanta and go all the way to Los Angeles, California and get something for me? Please kindly go and get this. Now for us to even take a flight and go to Los Angeles and get something for a deity, our personal deity, sometimes we may think, is it possible if I can just ship it by Amazon? Would that be okay, Krishna? We have a problem just to even fly and get something for our deities. But here Madhavendra Puri did not have any, he did not have any means by which he could fly, or by which he could take a car, or by which he could swim across on a ship. Madhavendra Puri decided to walk. Kaviraj Goswami very beautifully describes, Pragada preme to ei to swabhava achar. When there is pragada prem ei swabhava achar. This is the nature of pragada prem, deep attachment. Nija dukkha vignadi na kare vichar. That there is no consideration of how much trouble I will have to take. The only consideration is, oh Krishna, if I have to give you pleasure, so be it. Madhavendra Puri decided to walk. He gave the service of Gopal to his dear disciples and followers, and he decided to walk. He walked from Govardhan all the way to Jagannath Puri. And it is described, it was more than 1,000 kilometers. He had to walk, and there were no proper roads, so he had to make his way. And very dangerous, dacoits on the way. And Madhavendra Puri, in his ripe old age, is doing all this. Madhavendra Puri walked and walked and walked. But on his way, as he came to Remuna, he had very beautiful darshan of Gopinath. And there, as we know, this Gopinath very lovingly stole condensed milk, or kshira, which in Odia we call as kheera. He stole a very wonderful pot of condensed milk behind him. We can read this very beautiful story, how Madhavendra Puri, he looked as the pujari was offering. Madhavendra Puri thought, oh, if I could just taste a bit of this, I will know how wonderfully they make for Gopinath, so I can also make for my Gopal. But immediately, Madhavendra Puri felt, I have ayachaka vritti, which means I should not desire anything. Whatever comes naturally to me, that's all that I can accept. And also, another thing is, this is not even prasad, this is bhoga. Without Krishna accepting, how can I lust on it with my eyes? Madhavendra Puri chastised himself and went to the marketplace and started chanting Hare Krishna. But that night, Gopinath came in the dream of the pujari and said, you kept 13 pots there. Did you count them back? You took only 12. One missing. Where is that? That is behind my form. As the deity, I have kept it behind. I have stolen it for Madhavendra Puri. So please wake up, take this pot of kheer and take it to the marketplace and call out for Madhavendra Puri and tell him his dear Gopinath stole it for him. When the pujari woke up, he was startled. He thought, I have been worshipping Gopinath for such a long time, but what love? Gopinath never stole for me. But here a great sadhu by the name Madhavendra Puri came, and Gopinath, in the first meeting, he stole for him. So the pujari followed the dream, took the spot, ran to the market and shouted and screamed, Gopinath has stolen this for Madhavendra Puri. Where is Madhavendra Puri? Who is Madhavendra Puri? And Madhavendra Puri, when he heard that Gopinath not just heard, but also reciprocated to his desire, he fell unconscious. But when he woke up, he took that pot of kheer, he accepted it and also broke every piece of that pot, and he would have it every day because Gopinath has touched that pot. So not just the kheer in the pot, even the pot is prasad. That Madhavendra Puri, he left immediately overnight because his fame was spreading and he did not want to be there. But what to do? Praise is called stuti in Sanskrit. And stuti is kanya, which means she never gets married. She is always unmarried. Why? Those who chase praise, name and fame, stuti, she runs away from them. Those who want her, she runs away from them. And those who don't want her, she runs close to them. So those who run towards stuti or the desire to be praised, she runs away from them. So she doesn't get married to them. And those whom she wants to come to, they don't accept her. So in this way, she always remains unmarried. Here, Stuti wanted to come to Madhavendra Puri, but Madhavendra Puri was running away. He did not want any name and fame. But what to do? Krishna had inconceivable plans. He spread the glories of Madhavendra Puri. Even before Madhavendra Puri reached Jagannath Puri, his glorious pastime with Gopinath reached the ears of the Pandas. As Madhavendra Puri reached Jagannath Puri, he arranged through the devotees of Jagannath, and they gave him a lot of chandan, and they gave him a lot of camphor. And through devotees, Madhavendra Puri, he decided, he took darshan, and then he took all of this and decided to walk back. Now, while coming back on his way to go to Govardhan to meet Gopal, he again came through Ramuna. By now, Gopinath had changed his name to Kirachora Gopinath. Our Kaviraj Goswami very beautifully describes, Yasmai datum chorayan kshira bhandam. That Madhavendra Puri, for whom chorayan kshira bhandam, Gopinath stole a bhanda, which means a pot of kshira. And not just that, Gopinath kshira chora bidhabhut. Gopinath also changed his name to Kshira Chora, to that Supreme Lord. Yat premna Shri Madhavendram natosmi. Kaviraj Goswami says, to that Madhavendra Puri, for whom Gopal comes in the dream and asks for excavation, and for whom Gopinath is ready to steal pot and change his name to a Chor, Kshira Chor. That Madhavendra Puri, I bow down to. So this Madhavendra Puri, as he was returning, Gopal again from Govardhan appeared in his dream and said, "Oh Madhavendra Puri, I'm so pleased with your service. Please don't walk back again with all of this." That Gopinath at Remuna in Balashore, he's none different from my body. So you can serve me by smearing this chandan on his body. So Madhavendra Puri very lovingly stayed through all the summer period of the Chandan Yatra that we are talking about, and he smeared chandan on the body of Kshirachora Gopinath. And there Gopal at Govardhan, the heat of his body was coming down. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing all of this, he just fainted. But then when he realized that there were other devotees around, then he controlled his emotions and he continued doing kirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved Madhavendra Puri and loves Madhavendra Puri so much that he decided to accept Madhavendra Puri as his Param Gurudev. Madhavendra Puri's disciple was Ishwara Puri, whose disciple is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Madhavendra Puri, who's so exalted, is described to be a very intimate, wish-fulfilling Kalpavriksha tree in the groves of Radha and Krishna. Radha and Krishna perform such beautiful Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Siddhyai Yayali Bhi Yukti Rapekshani. As we sing, Radha and Krishna perform very sweet meeting pastimes, confidential pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan. Rasa Parayana. In the Rasa Leela, Krishna sharing this pastime with everyone. But in the Nikunjas, he's having very confidential private time with Radharani. So one very exalted, very beautiful, wish-fulfilling, intimately associated tree of the groves of Radha and Krishna is Madhavendra Puri. Radharani and Krishna, before they appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they instructed the tree, you please go down and you set the scene, and then we will come as Gauranga. So Madhavendra Puri appeared, and his disciple is Ishwara Puri, and his disciple is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Madhavendra Puri had such exalted disciples. Ishwara Puri is one among them. Paramananda Puri, who is none different from Uddhava, is another glorious disciple. Brahmananda Bharati is another glorious disciple. Kashishwar is another glorious disciple. Nityananda Prabhu is another glorious disciple. Advaita Acharya is another glorious disciple. Govinda is another glorious disciple. But another glorious disciple of Madhavendra Puri is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is none different from Prishabhanu Maharaj. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi had so many disciples, but foremost among them was Gadadhara Pandit, who is Radharani. So Madhavendra Puri is the Param Gurudev, not just for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Gaur, but also for Gadadhar, who is Radharani. So Radha and Krishna come down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Radharani comes as Gadadhar Pandit separately. And they accept initiation from the disciples of Madhavendra Puri. So this is the position of Madhavendra Puri. So we started with the Param Gurudev, so that Gaur and Gadadhar are very pleased with us, so that before we start glorifying them, we get their mercy, because we have now glorified not just Ishwara Puri Pad and all his god brothers, but starting with Param Gurudev, that is Sripad Madhavendra Puri. Now talking about Gadadhar Pandit, the dear disciple of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi is Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani. In the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika, Kavi Karnapur very beautifully describes Shri Radha Prema Rupaya Pura Vrindavaneshwari. That form of Radha Prem, who is Vrindavaneshwari in the groves of Vrindavan. Sashri Gadadharo Gaura Vallabha Panditakhyaya. That same Radharani with Radha Bhav, Radha Prem, love of Radharani for Krishna manifested as Gaura Vallabha, as a very dear associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga as Gadadhara Pandit. Also, Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes Gadadhara Pandita, Prabhura Nija Shakti. Who is Gadadhara Pandita? Shri Gadadhara Pandita Prabhur Nija Shakti Tasavara Charana Moro Sahasra Pranati. Kaviraj Goswami says that Shri Gadadhar Pandit is Prabhur Nija Shakti. Just like Radharani is the energy and Krishna is the energetic. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the energetic and Gadadhar Pandit is the energy. Kaviraj Goswami very, very beautifully has mentioned Gadadhara Pandita. This Gadadhar Pandit is Prabhur Nija Shakti, one Prabhu's own Shakti. And at the same time, Kaviraj Goswami said, therefore, Tasavara Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. Therefore, the only desire I have is to hold the feet of Gaur and Gadadhar and offer them Sahasra Pranati, thousands and thousands of obeisances. Just like we offer obeisances to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, we should offer obeisances to the lotus feet of Gaur and Gadadhar. This is what even Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung. He has sung, Dhana Yauvana Jivana Rajya Sukham Nahi Nitya Manokshana Nasha Param Tyaja Gramya Katha Sakalam Vipalam Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidhum. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Dhana, wealth, Yauvana, youth, Rajya Sukham, wealth, Nahi Nityam, none of these things are eternal. Nasha Param, Anukshana, immediately they will be destroyed at the time of death. Therefore, Tyaja Gramya Katha. Oh dear reader of this song, says Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashai, Tyaja Gramya Katha. Give up speaking, hearing, contemplating, everything material. Sakalam Vifalam, they are all useless. And Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidam. Just worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the rising moon in the forest of Godrum. And in the last concluding verses of this song, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Smara Gaura Gadadhara Kelikalam Bhava Gaura Gadadhara Pakshacharam Shrunu Gaura Gadadhara Charu Katha Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidhum. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you really want to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then there is one way. Smara Gaura Gadadhara Kelikalam. Just remember his pastimes with Gadadhar Pandit. And Bhava Gaura Gadadhara Pakshacharam. And just become a devotee of Gadadhar Pandit. And then Shrunu Gaura Gadadhara Charu Katha. And with your ears, just hear about Gaur and Gadadhar. And in this way, Bhaja Godruma Kanana Kunja Vidhum. By worshipping Gadadhar Pandit, by valuing Gadadhar Pandit, by remembering and glorifying Gadadhar Pandit, Mahaprabhu will be happy. So we try to please Mahaprabhu by going to Madhavendra Puri, glorifying Ishwara Puri and the God brothers, and then coming to Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar. But then we are also going down to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, if you want to please Mahaprabhu, then worship Gadadhar Pandit. Just like the Shastra says, Satyam Satyam Puna Satyam Satyam Eva Puna Punaha Vina Radha Prasadena Mat Prasadona Labhyate. Krishna has mentioned this in the Adi Puran to Arjuna, that Satyam Satyam Puna Satyam, this is truth, this is truth, this is indeed the truth. Satyam Eva Punaha Punaha. I am raising my arms, Arjuna, and speaking this truth to you. Vina Radha Prasadena Mat Prasadona Labhyate. Without pleasing and serving Srimati Radharani, I will not be pleased. Even Srila Prabhupada has glorified that, oh Radharani, please tell your Krishna something about me. So Krishna is the possession of Radharani. Similarly, Gauranga is the possession of Gadadhar. Who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu? He is Gadadhara Pranadhana. He is the Pranadhana. He is not just the worshipable Lord of Advaita, but he is the Pran. He is the possession of Gadadhar Pandit. So therefore, Gadadhar Pandit is very, very glorious. However, there could be a question. that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none different from Radha and Krishna. Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned, Srila Rup Goswami Pad has mentioned, Raghunath Das Goswami Pad has mentioned that who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha-Krishna Nahi Anya. There is no difference. To say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna is incomplete, because he is not just Krishna. He is Krishna with the mood and the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Then there could be a question. If Radha and Krishna have come together as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then why Radharani is appearing again as Gadadhara Pandit? What is the need to appear again? We see in all other places like Advaita Acharya, he is Lord Shiva and Mahavishnu coming together. But apart from that, you don't see individual manifestation and personal manifestation, collective manifestation and individual manifestation. But here you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Krishna, but Radharani is also coming as Gadadhara Pandit. So what is the reason for this? Why is Gadadhara Pandit appearing? And what is Gadadhara Pandit trying to assist in is what we will see in today's discussion. So it has been described that Gadadhara Pandit appeared in the present day Chittagong, Bangladesh. And he appeared 1 year after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486. And our dear Gadadhara Pandit appeared in 1487. He appeared to Madhava Mishra and Ratnavati Devi, and his dear brother was Vaninath Mishra. They lived in Chittagong, Bangladesh. But when Gadadhara Pandit was about 12 years old, then his father, along with the family, they moved to Navadvip. Now, when they moved to Navadvip, Gadadhara Pandit was 12, Mahaprabhu was 13. So they were inseparable friends. It is described in the biographies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they would eat together, they would walk together, they would run together, they would sing together, they would even sleep together many times. They would be tired after playing, they would sleep together, and they would talk. They would be on the same frequency, laughing together, studying together. They were just inseparables. In every single activity, they were together. Everyone observed that Gadadhara Pandit and Nimai, they were best of friends. However, when school began and they started to learn, their individual natures came out. Gadadhara Pandit was very gentle, very soft, very devoted to bhajan. He would hear about Krishna. He would love to be in seclusion, chanting and weeping the names of Krishna, hearing and studying the scriptures. And he was always very respectful and respectable. Now, our Nimai was exact opposite. He was very mischievous, very restless, very argumentative. He would walk on the banks of the Ganga to different bathing ghats. The Chaitanya Bhagavat very clearly describes that he would walk from one bathing ghat to another bathing ghat in the Ganga. And he would challenge different students of the same teacher. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gangadas Pandit's Gurukul. And many other students also came there. And Nimai would challenge each and every student. And when they were all defeated, he would go to another bathing ghat. And there were students of another teacher. And Mahaprabhu would now battle them and defeat them down in arguments. And he would say, oh, is this what your teacher is teaching you? Your teacher has not taught you much. And he was very naughty and very mischievous. Our acharyas have described that although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the embodiment of pure devotion, he is teaching us this principle that every conditioned soul is very restless, very mischievous, very argumentative in this world. But their life actually begins only when they meet and they get sheltered by the lotus feet of their Gurudev. So although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagavan, he is teaching us by personal example that this is how conditioned souls are very restless and mischievous. And only when they get the lotus feet of a great soul, they are rescued. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would walk down the street, and if Gadadhara Pandit saw him, he would change his path because he knew Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would challenge him. One day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held Gadadhara by the collar and said, define mukti. Tell me the definition of liberation. And Gadadhara Pandit in Sanskrit, he said, Atyantika dukkha nivriti. Atyantika dukkha nivriti means complete removal of all suffering. And Mahaprabhu broke that definition with so many arguments and said, this is wrong, incorrect, incomplete. You haven't studied the scriptures properly. I'll give you 24 hours. Go home, study your text, and come tomorrow. I'll ask you the same question, and I expect a better answer. And Gadadhara Pandit in his mind was thinking, I wish I could just get out of this place. But because he was very respectful, he would not do that. He would just pray in his mind, I wish Nimai becomes the devotee. He is not tasting the actual honey of bhakti. He is simply licking the honey bottle from outside in the form of the grammatical rules of the Sanskrit language. I wish he can open the jar of scriptures and actually dive into the honey of bhakti. So in this way, our Gadadhar Pandit would pray. Apart from Mukunda and Srivas and Advaita Acharya, they also, how Nimai Pandit was such a big scholar. And they would pray that if he becomes a devotee, then the whole world will be drowning in ecstatic love. He can break down the atheistic arguments. He can establish Krishna and the worship of Krishna as the foremost principle, the primal duty, the prime duty for all conditioned souls. So they would pray like that. It so happened that there were so many different pastimes, but just in the interest of time, it just so happened that Ishwara Puri once happened to come to Navadvip. As he came to Navadvip, he lived in the house of Gopinath Acharya. And both Nimai and Gadadhar Pandit would go to hear from Ishwara Puripad. And Ishwara Puripad had written a book called as the Krishna Leela Amritam. And he was reading from that book. And Gadadhar Pandit would hear, even Nimai Pandit would hear. But Gadadhar Pandit was serving Ishwara Puri with so much love and affection that Nimai Pandit lost his heart at the lotus feet of Ishwara Puri, and Ishwara Puri lost his heart with the heart of Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit won the heart of Ishwara Puri, and Nimai Pandit won the attention of Ishwara Puri, like that. So in this way, Nimai Pandit was constantly thinking, this great sadhu, oh, he speaks so well. He has explained it so well. I wish I could meet him again. And it so happened, Chaitanya Bhagavat describes, Chaitanya Charitamrita describes that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya to perform the duties for his departed father, he met with Ishwara Puripad. Ishwara Puri initiated Nimai and gave him the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and also the Gopal Mantra. He initiated him, what we call as the first and the second, both were given to Nimai. Nimai started chanting them. And it is described that there were ecstatic eruptions of transformations in his body. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back to Ishwara Puri and said, what mantra have you given me? Kiba mantra dila goshai, kiba tarabal. What is the power of this mantra that you have given me? Japite mantra karila pagal. Just by chanting this mantra, my mind is going crazy. Ishwara Puri smiled and he said, Hare Krishna Mahamantra eito swabhav. Jai Krishna naam jape upajaye bhav. This is the swabhav. This is the nature of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That Jai Krishna naam bhaje. Those who chant the name of Krishna, upajaye bhav. The spontaneous nature of this mantra is that just by chanting and repeating this mantra with affection, love for Krishna will naturally rise. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was displaying all these symptoms, Ishwara Puri said, I am very, very blessed to have a disciple like you who's having all these ecstatic symptoms. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned back to Navadvip, the news spread that there was a transformation of heart for Nimai Pandit. He was now exploding. His heart was erupting in love for Krishna. All the devotees, they would meet in the house of Srivas Pandit every morning at Srivas Angan. And Srivas Pandit had 4 brothers, Srivas Pandit, Sri Ram Pandit, Sri Nidhi Pandit, Sri Pati Pandit. So Sri Ram Pandit, as the devotees were actually picking jasmine flowers from their garden for the morning services, Sri Ram Pandit came running and he said, has everyone heard this ecstatic news? That Nimai Pandit, yes, our Nimai Pandit has now had a transformation. He's crying and weeping in ecstatic love. And he is showing these symptoms of devotion that are charming the hearts of all the great souls. And he wants to speak his heart to all of us today in the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari. So all the devotees were so happy. They were so eager to know. They were so enthusiastic to meet and see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to say. Even our Gadadhar Pandit was so happy to hear this. He was remembering how Nimai was walking down the different lanes and streets of Navadvip, challenging everyone and beating all the big Digvijay Pandits down to pieces. with his powerful arguments on Nyaya, which is logic, Naveen Nyaya, which means very fresh system of logic, and Vyakarana, Sanskrit grammar. But now Gadadhar Pandit was thinking, if this news is true, that means there's fulfillment of all of our prayers. We've been praying to Krishna to make Nimai Pandit a devotee, so that everyone's heart can be transformed and changed by his empowered personality. Gadadhar Pandit also went, but he hid himself in another room. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked into the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari. All the devotees were waiting there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at everyone's face with tilak and kanti. He fell down flat to the ground offering obeisances. And then, remembering Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started describing, by chanting the holy name, I found Krishna, but I lost him. I don't know where he left. I don't know where my Krishna is. I don't know how I can get him. And as he was speaking, he fell on a pillar and then fell unconscious. He hit a pillar and fell unconscious. Now all the devotees were seeing hair standing on end on the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His complexion was changing. And his throat was filled with a lump of emotion. Tears streaming down his eyes. His teeth was chattering. He had all the ecstatic symptoms of divine love that the devotees were well aware of. Great scholars like Advaita Acharya were present. They saw what is happening. They all started singing and dancing the names of Krishna. And when this name entered the ears of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got up. And as he looked at all the devotees with tears, he said, where is my Gadadhar? Where is my Gadadhar? And as the devotees cleared their way, Gadadhar Pandit was sitting there with his hand on his face. He was crying and weeping in happiness. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and embraced Gadadhar. As he embraced Gadadhar, everyone saw the very beautiful meeting of the two forms. All the eternal associates they saw, they had the same feeling of love as if they saw Radha and Krishna together, the divine couple together. They saw Gaur and Gadadhar here meeting with the mood of devotion for the first time, because Gadadhar Pandit was always displaying symptoms of devotion. But now for the first time, even Nimai Pandit had transformative symptoms in his heart and in his body. And both Gaur and Gadadhar were embracing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held the hands of Gadadhar Pandit and he said, you're so fortunate. So fortunate, right from childhood, you've been a devotee. You've been chanting and hearing about Krishna. But look at me, I have wasted my life with unnecessary, mundane, materialistic sciences and arguments. But now, after such a long time, after the prayers and blessings of so many superiors, when I try to find Krishna, I get him, but I lose him. Oh Gadadhar, how do I find him? Where can I find him? How is it possible? In this way, they continued. And Gadadhar Pandit was so happy looking at this very, very beautiful interaction with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar Pandit was an expert pacifier. Whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would erupt in ecstasy, everyone, including Shachi Mata, would not know what to do. One time, Gadadhar Pandit, he came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the house of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya had his arti plate ready and he was worshipping Krishna. He was offering water to Krishna and all the paraphernalia to Krishna. But as Kirtan began, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu swooned in ecstasy and tears streaming from his eyes, remembering Krishna in the mood of Radharani, that he fell to the ground again unconscious. Advaita Acharya saw this and he took all the items of paraphernalia and he started worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the water that he had used to worship Krishna. He took that water to bathe the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadadhar Pandit was very, very perplexed. He was looking at Advaita Acharya. He said, what are you doing? Advaita Acharya is such an exalted scholar. You're such a great devotee, senior in age. More than 50 years senior to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit. What are you doing? He's just a boy, 1 year older to me. He's a young boy. Why are you worshipping him? Advaita Acharya at that time looked at Gadadhar and said, Gadadhar, haven't you still recognized? He's not just a boy. He is the Supreme Lord who is the fulfillment of the prayers that I was offering. The Ganga water with Tulsi to my Shaligram. That worship has been completely fulfilled as the son of Shachi Mata. Now, on this mission to drown the souls of this world, starting with Navadvip, in the ocean of love. Gadadhar Pandit was so convinced by the words of Advaita Acharya that he agreed, and he offered his obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit would dance at Srivas Angan, all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would see that as Gaur and Gadadhar were dancing together, sometimes in ecstatic love, Gadadhar Pandit's complexion would turn to molten gold, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's golden complexion would turn to bluish black. And Gaur and Gadadhar, as they were dancing, they looked as Radha and Krishna. And all the associates at that time, they were realizing their original forms in Krishna Leela. The curtain of Yoga Maya was temporarily removed, and they were looking. This Srivas Angan in Navadvip was Rasasthali. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting was the Rasa Leela. Srivas Angan was the Rasasthali. All of them were associates of Radha and Krishna, and Gaur and Gadadhar were Radha and Krishna, none different. So many such instances. In the house of Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's identity is revealed. Now at Srivas Angan, the identity of Gaur and Gadadhar as Radha and Krishna is revealed. Then it is described very beautifully. One day, as Gadadhar Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Jagadananda Pandit, as they were walking through the groves of Navadvip, there, as they were walking and remembering Krishna on a bakula tree, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw a very beautiful singing parrot. Mahaprabhu looked at the parrot, and with his long arms, he reached out and caught the parrot with his hand. And in the hands of the Supreme Lord, the parrot was ecstatic. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at the parrot and said, "Oh parrot, you think I don't recognize you? You are the same Shukadev Goswami, the same Shuka who flaps his wings through his transcendental lips and speaks the glories of Krishna. Please now, through your lotus beak, tell all of us the pastimes of Radha and Krishna." Now the parrot looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the parrot started saying, "Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari." And Mahaprabhu, in his heart, he was bursting in happiness, but externally, he became very angry and he threw the parrot. And the parrot started flying. Mahaprabhu would externally reject whenever someone called him Krishna. Because in Kali Yuga, it's very easy to consider a man to be God and God to be a mere mortal. These are the two biggest faults in the path of spiritual life. You can consider any mere mortal to be God. And then when Krishna appears, Ramachandra appears, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears, we consider them to be mere mortal. So Mahaprabhu was setting the example, the right culture of a devotee, that we don't want to hear any good praise about ourselves. We want every second the glories of Radha and Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Why are you wasting our time? Speak the glories of Radha and Krishna." And the parrot started saying, "Oh, my dear Lord, I have realized that same Vrindavan has reincarnated. That same Vrindavan has reincarnated as Navadvip. And my worshipable lords, Radha and Krishna, have reincarnated as Gaur and Gadadhar. Radharani is none different from Gadadhar Pandit. And my dear Lord Krishna is none different from Gauranga. He has come to taste the bhav of Radharani. And here Radharani has come as Gadadhar. So therefore, for me, Radha-Krishna Leela in Vrindavan is Gaur Gadadhar Leela in Navadvip," and started saying, "Gaura, Gaura, 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 Gaura." And all of them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit, they were all in ecstatic love. Shukadev Goswami appeared as a parrot and he spoke the truth. So many beautiful pastimes between Gauranga and Gadadhar Pandit. One day, Gadadhar Pandit came to the house of Shachi Mata to give some spices. And at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. So Shachi Mata did not know what to do. As Gadadhar Pandit came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held the hand of Gadadhar Pandit. And he started crying. He said, "Kaha mora prananath? Where is my Krishna? Where is Nanda Nandan Shri Krishna? Where is Radharaman Shri Krishna? When can I find? My eyes are burning in separation to see Krishna. My ears are burning in separation from hearing the flute sound." Karnanandi sanarma ramya vachasa. Mahaprabhu started describing, my arms are desperate to embrace the beautiful form of Shama Sundar. And my lips want to continuously chant the holy name of Krishna. And I want to smell the very beautiful aromatic fragrance coming from his body. The mixture of the nectar in the whirl of the blue lotus flowers of the forest night. And that mixed with some aguru and some camphor and some musk fragrance. All of this mixed with the forest flower garland of Vrindavan. All of that is the fragrance coming from the body of Krishna. Oh Gadadhar, my nose wants to smell Krishna. My eyes want to see Krishna. My ears want to hear his flute sound. My tongue can't stop chanting his names. My arms are eager to embrace him. Gadadhar, my mind is going mad. My senses are envious of each other as to who's going to first. They are competing with each other. Who's going to go and meet Shama Sundar? Oh Gadadhar, I don't know where my Krishna is. How can I find him? When Mahaprabhu was showing this deep, desperate, intense feelings of separation from Krishna, no one except Gadadhar Pandit could pacify him. Gadadhar Pandit at that time looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, oh, just be patient. Krishna will come. You don't worry. He said, where is Krishna? But where is Krishna? Gadadhar Pandit said, why are you worrying? Krishna is there in your heart. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time, he took the nails of his lotus palms and he struck them into his chest. And with his nails, he started scratching to tear open his chest to see in his heart Sri Krishna. And at that time, Gadadhar Pandit, he stopped him. He said, just be patient. He is coming. He is coming. And as Gadadhar Pandit embraced Mahaprabhu, all the devotees saw, including Shachi Mata, that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went through these phases of intense, inconceivable love, no one except Gadadhar Pandit could pacify him. Shachi Mata at that time took the hand of Gadadhar Pandit and told him, as a mother asking the son, can you bless me? Can you bless me with this fulfillment? Can you fulfill one desire of mine? Mother Gadadhar Pandit said, Mother, I can fulfill any desire. Please instruct. And Shachi Mata said, please never leave my child. Nimai will go mad without you. No one around can pacify him except you. Please never leave him. Always be with him and always be together and help him out when he goes through these phases of ecstatic love. Gadadhar Pandit took advantage of this instruction and continued to stay with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would always do kirtans, Harinam Sankirtans with Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. He was always there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout his pastimes in Navadvip. And then even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Puri, our Gadadhar Pandit was there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is described after Mahaprabhu took sannyas and following the instruction of his mother, he moved himself to Puri. He desired to go to Vrindavan. And as he decided to go to Vrindavan for the first time, he went only up to Ramakeli. And he delivered Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami by personally instructing them and meeting them, and then came back. He could not go to Vrindavan. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back, he went straight to Gadadhar Pandit and said, Gadadhar, do you know, I planned to go to Vrindavan, but I failed. I didn't succeed. I went only up to Ramakeli and I had to come back. Gadadhar Pandit said, oh, what was the reason? Why couldn't you reach Vrindavan? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there is only one reason, Gadadhar. I displeased you. So Gadadhar Pandit said, when did you displease me, my lord? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he explained the whole story. Gadadhar Pandit had taken Kshetra Sannyas in Jagannath Puri. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Puri, Gadadhar Pandit also took Kshetra Sannyas. So Gadadhar Pandit never entered Grihastha Ashram. He was brahmachari all his life, and then he took sannyas. And that too, sannyas, Kshetra sannyas means living in one place all one's life and never leaving that place. Because Mother Shachi had instructed Gadadhar Pandit to always be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he remained with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip and now in Puri also. But when Mahaprabhu left to go to Vrindavan, he stepped out of Nilachal Dham. Even Gadadhar Pandit stepped out of Nilachal Dham. So Mahaprabhu looked at Gadadhar Pandit and said, you have taken this vrat, this vow of Kshetra sannyas, to be a sannyasi in one place and never leave that place. But you broke that to be with me. You have won over my heart with your attachment and love for me. Gadadhar Pandit said, all the rules are to be broken ultimately to serve the Lord. Now, if you leave, what am I going to do as a sannyasi in this place? Sannyas means to give up completely everything that comes in our path to attain the Supreme Lord with attachment. So if my Lord is leaving this place, I will be a sannyasi if I give up this place to come and be with you. At that time, while Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, so Mahaprabhu was speaking all this to Gadadhar Pandit as a rewind story to what happened and why he could not reach Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu was telling Gadadhar Pandit, as I stepped out, you stepped out. And then I appreciated you breaking your vrat to be with me. But then Gadadhar, do you remember? I told you, please go back to Puri. At that time, Gadadhar Pandit told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the story that Mahaprabhu, I don't want to go back. When the Lord of my life in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is leaving Puri, I want to be with him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked Gadadhar Pandit at that time, I will be happy if you remain in Jagannath Puri. Do you want to come with me for my pleasure or for your pleasure? Because love has no rules, but it has one rule, that it must be for the pleasure of the beloved, not for oneself. Rupa Goswami in Ujjvala Nilamani has described, Sarvato Dvamsharahitam sa prema parikirtitaha, that Krishna prema means irrespective of all obstacles and hurdles, we continue to serve with increasing enthusiasm and attachment our Lord for his pleasure and nothing for ourselves. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Gadadhar, do you want to come with me for my pleasure or for your pleasure? Gadadhar Pandit realized that if it was Mahaprabhu's pleasure, that would be in Gadadhar staying in Puri. So Gadadhar Pandit decided, yes, my Lord, you can go. I will wait. So when Mahaprabhu got onto the boat and he was crossing, Gadadhar Pandit saw Mahaprabhu leave and he fainted and fell to the ground. Mahaprabhu said, because I displeased you at that time, I could not go to Vrindavan. I had to come back. So therefore, please forgive me. Please bless me. Only by your blessings. When you forgive me and bless me, I can go to Vrindavan. Gadadhar Pandit said, if you want to go to Vrindavan and because of me, you're not able to go, then if by me blessing, that's going to be successful, I bless you. I bless you. May you succeed and go to Vrindavan. But before that, my Lord, please come to my house for prasad. So Gadadhar Pandit trapped the Supreme Lord and said, please come home for prasad. In this way, pastimes continued. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he would live in Jagannath Puri, he would spend 3-4 hours in the afternoon at Yameshwar Tot, which is Tota Gopinath, the very dear deity of Gadadhar Pandit. And he would stay there with Gadadhar Pandit and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. It is an interesting point. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in this world to realize the love of Radharani. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishova Nayaiva Swadhyo Yenad Bhuta Madhurima Kidrishova Madiya Saukhyam Chasya Mad Anubhavataha Kidrisho Veti Lobhat Tad Bhavadhya Samajani Shachi Garbha Sindho Harindu Radha-Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladhini Shakti Rasmad Ekat Manav Api Bhuvipura Deha Bhedam Gatautau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Adhuna Tad Dvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Dhyuti Subalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. So Krishna has come as Chaitanya to give love of Godhead, but that's secondary. First of all, Prema Rasa Niryas Korite Aswadan, Rag Marg Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. First of all, he has come. Rasika Shekhara Krishna Parama Karun. First of all, Rasika Shekhara. First, he has come to taste love. And then Parama Karun. Then, out of mercy, he wants to share. So Mahaprabhu's Leela is Krishna trying to become a devotee and to taste the love of Radharani. How much Krishna has gone through the motions in his pastimes as Chaitanya. He appeared in Navadvip, performed his scholastic phase by breaking arguments, Keshav Kashmiri and so many others. He took initiation from Srila Ishwara Puripad. Then he did lots of Harinam Sankirtan. He entered Grihastha Ashram. Then he gave it up and took sannyas. He went to all the pastime places. He met with, so he gave instructions to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami later in Puri. He also had meetings with Ramananda Rai on the banks of Godavari and heard so much from him. And after all of that, he would come in front of Jagannath and chant and dance to finally realize all this. And then in the Gambhira, in the association of Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, who are non-different from Lalita and Vishakha, he would hear the songs of Gita Govinda of Jaidev Goswami and Krishna Karanamrita of Bilva Mangala Thakur and the songs of Chandidas and Vidyapati. And finally, he spoke the Shikshashtakam, realizing the bhav of Radharani. So Mahaprabhu had to go through so much to realize Radha bhav. But here is an interesting point. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to Yameshwar Tot with Gadadhar Pandit and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. We asked this question in the beginning of the class. Why did Gadadhar Pandit come separately when Radha and Krishna have come together as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Here is the answer. The nature of love is, it is like a flame. You see, love for Krishna is like a flame in the candle. When there is a flame in the candle and it's kept in a lamp, if it's open, then the wind will come and blow it off. But if that candle with the fire is lit on the candle and it's properly kept in a lamp, there's no disturbance of wind, but just through the transparent medium of the glass, you can see that there's fire which is lit inside. Similarly, prem, love of Godhead, is like fire flame in the heart that is kept in the beautiful lamp, so to speak, covering of the consciousness. If we open our mouth and speak about it, oh, this I am experiencing, this love I'm having, so much bhakti I'm having, then what will happen? All that wind will come and it'll blow off the candle. But if everything is quiet, then the glass of our eyes will reveal that there is a fire flame of bhakti in the heart. So here's the thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to realize all of this. Krishna wanted to realize all of this. But no one except Radharani is experiencing Radharani's prem. So if Krishna wanted to realize the prem of Radharani, only Radharani can speak about it and explain to Krishna her bhav. But the nature of love is you don't speak about it because there is humility. So the only one who's experiencing it is Radharani. The only one who can speak about it to Krishna is Radharani. Because Krishna wants to realize the love of Radharani. Only Radharani can speak. But she doesn't speak because of humility. So therefore, Radharani had to appear as Gadadhar Pandit. Krishna is appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now, on the pretext of Srimad Bhagavatam class, Radharani speaking about herself is not possible. But when she comes as Gadadhar Pandit, it is Gadadhar Pandit speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam. So on the pretext of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna, is hearing about Radharani's prem in the Bhagavatam through the lips of Radharani, who's Gadadhar Pandit. What is impossible in Krishna Leela became possible in Gaura Leela. Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit is covered in Yoga Maya. So she forgets. Gadadhar Pandit forgets that he is Radharani. Therefore, Gadadhar Pandit is speaking Bhagavatam and glorifying Radha and Krishna. But Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing from the lips of Gadadhar Pandit, who is Radharani, the love of Radharani in the Bhagavatam. So this is completion and fulfillment. Second point, whenever someone wants to learn to drive a new car, you just can't give your car and tell him to go for a test drive. You have to sit in the passenger seat. An expert driver has to sit on the passenger seat and try to help him with the movement of the steering so that the person doesn't bang somewhere. So Krishna is the novice driver and Radharani's bhav is the car. So Krishna is sitting in the car called Krishna Prem. And it's possible because he has never tasted it before. He may accelerate and boom, there may be an accident. Therefore, Radharani, apart from giving her bhav in the form of the car to Krishna, who is the novice driver, also as the expert driver on the passenger seat. Radharani is coming as Gadadhar Pandit, always to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that the expert driver is giving the car and the driving the seat, but also at the side, helping in all times to pacify. So when Krishna is going through the motions of Radharani as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radharani is always there next to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to make sure that he does a good job. Sometimes we see our child may learn to drive a cycle, a bicycle. And in the beginning, there may be side supporting wheels. The father takes the child on the bicycle, goes for a tour, or let's say a drive around, and the father is always there with the child. But then comes a point where the side wheels are also taken, but the father is always holding the seat so that the child doesn't fall. But then he runs with the child throughout to support the child. But one point comes when the father just lets go and sees the child drive on his own or her own, and the father has a smile as the child does a good job. So this is Radha Bhav, and Radharani as Gadadhara Pandit, and Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna is the child taking the bicycle of Radha Bhav, and Radharani as Gadadhara Pandit is helping. But always they're helping in Navadvip Leela, in Jagannath Puri Leela, but interestingly, in the Gambhira, there is no Gadadhara Pandit. It is only Swarup Damodara and Rai Ramananda as Lalita and Vishakha. Why? That is the time when the child has learned to drive the bicycle, and from a distance the father sees and smiles as the child is driving so beautifully. So Gadadhara Pandit, after being with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout Navadvip and in Jagannath Puri, at the Gambhira, from a distance, he's not there micromanaging this bhav, but from a distance is smiling as Gadadhara Pandit or Radharani is so happy to see the Lord of her life, Sri Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, experience her emotions of feeling of separation in the association, in the presence of Lalita and Vishakha as Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda. Just like Radharani would cry and weep in Vrindavan in the presence of Lalita and Vishakha, in separation from Krishna when Krishna left Vrindavan to go to Mathura. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna, is going through those same motions of emotion of Radharani in the Gambhira, in separation from Jagannath. And Lalita and Vishakha, in the form of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, are pacifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Gadadhara Pandit is not there in the Gambhira. Also, we see when there is a play enacted, the dramatic director, he may tell the actor, yes, you should do this. The lightings are here. This is where the audience is. You don't show your back to the audience. This is where your mics are. This is where the entry point is. This is how you come. These are the spotlights. And you have a central mic. And then apart from that, you have a collar mic. This is how you come ahead. This is how you go behind. And this is how it goes on. So the director may direct and help the actor off stage. But when the play begins, the director is not dancing there on the stage. He's at a distance, helping from behind the curtain, telling the actor, just do this, do that. So similarly, Gadadhara Pandit as Radharani, or Radharani as Gadadhara Pandit, is helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna, all through Navadvip and in Jagannath Puri. But when in the Gambhira, when he's put on the wonderful performance stage with Lalita and Vishakha as Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, Radharani is not there physically micromanaging, but as a director from behind the curtain of love, is seeing her Krishna go through the same emotions that she went through as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How wonderful is this? That Gadadhara Pandit is Radharani appearing in a male form to assist, at the same time is not there at the Gambhira. So there's some control and there's some let go. In this way, Gaur and Gadadhar are the life of the Gaudiya Parampara. They are non-different from Radha and Krishna. How wonderfully they have enacted their pastimes. Now, as I wrap up, in the last 5 minutes or so, we want to mention why all this happened so beautifully. In Krishna Leela, it is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The friends of Krishna, they love Krishna so much that they play with Krishna. They run with Krishna. They try to catch the shadow of the birds. They sing with the cuckoos. They dance with the peacocks. They shout into the well and expect the echoes to say something different. They're swinging from one branch to another. And they're playing so beautifully with Krishna. At that time, Shukadev Goswami said, Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam naradarakena sakham vijahru krita punya punjaha. Very beautifully he has described. Ittam satam brahma sukhanubhutya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya shritanam naradarakena sakham vijahru krita punya punjaha. You find this verse in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 12, text 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, which describe the Sakhya Leelas of Krishna. So Shukdev Goswami has described there, of all the associates of Krishna, the most fortunate are the friends of Krishna. The most glorious are the friends of Krishna. Now we know Shukadeva Goswami is on the side of Srimati Radharani as a parrot. So why shouldn't Shukadeva Goswami say that the gopis are the highest? Why should he say that the friends are highest? Well, that is the grief in the heart of the gopis. It is described that the gopis of Vrindavan, Ya dohane vahanane mathanopalepa prekhankenar barudito ksanamarjanado gayanti chainam anurakta dhiyo shrukantyo dhanya vrajastriyam urukramachittayan. Bhagavatam describes that the gopis would cry and weep that they're not able to go into the forest with Krishna. Ya dohane, while milking the cows. Avahanane, while collecting crops and taking the rice. And mathana, while churning. Upalepa, while taking the cow dung and smearing it on the walls. Or prenkhankana, which means swinging their babies. And arbaka rudita, and while the babies are crying, pacifying them and telling them different stories and songs. And ukshana marjanado, and by sprinkling water and sweeping the floors. They're doing all these chores in their home. But while they're doing this, gayanti, they keep singing. Chainam anurakta, with so much love. Ashru dhiya kantha. Gayanti chainam anurakta dhiya ashru kantho. They have ashru as they cry, coming down their kantha, which means their throat. They're singing the names of Krishna and tears are coming down their cheek, wetting their kantha, their throat. Why are they crying? Shukadeva Goswami has described the gopis are bleeding in their heart. A thunderbolt of separation is hitting their heart. That how fortunate are all the gopas. The gopas can go with Krishna in public. They can play with Krishna. They can put their hand around Krishna. They can pull his cheeks. They can have gopa dots. They can decorate his form. They can fan him. They can feed him. They can tease him. They can run around with him. They can do all of this every single day in public. In fact, when they don't go with Krishna, their parents are telling them, go, Krishna is waiting for you. You go. Gopis are thinking. And look at us. We are milking the cows. But even if we say Govinda or Krishna with our throat, with our voice, our mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are there to keep an eye on us. So even when we are milking, we can remember Krishna, but we can't even chant about him. Sometimes they go on to say, go, and they can't finish Govinda because their mother-in-law is here. So they say, go, and the Vinda comes out through their eyes in the form of tears, and it completes the name. So the gopis are thinking, we are milking the cows. We are collecting all these crops, and we are churning. We are making butter and yogurt, and we are smearing cow dung and cow urine over the place. We are cleaning the floor and swinging our babies and putting them to sleep. And through all of this, we are just remembering. Forget about going and being with Krishna. We can't even chant his names. We just have to remember. How fortunate are the friends. In this bhav of the gopis, Shukadeva Goswami speaks and says, Sakham vijaharu krita punya punjaha. The friends of Krishna are the most glorious. So therefore, as the gopis are bursting in this feeling that why is all this happening to us? Only one reason, because we are in a female body. The gopas are so fortunate because they're in a male form as Krishna. And they can walk with him, sing with him, dance with him, eat with him, be with him all day. And because we are in a female body, we can be with Krishna. They were burning and bleeding and praying to Yogamaya Shakti that Yogamaya fulfill their desire. All the gopis, headed by Radharani, in Krishna Leela, in Dwapar Yuga, in Vrindavan, appeared in Navadvip, in Gaura Leela, along with Krishna as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all in male forms. So that now openly they could sing with Krishna, dance with Krishna, play with Krishna, eat with Krishna, be with him all day and night. And this is why Radharani fulfilled her desire and came down as Gadadhara Pandit in a male form. And now no one is stopping Gaur and Gadadhar from swinging and walking down the streets of Navadvip, which is none different from Braja. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sit and hear Bhagavatam from the lips of Gadadhar Pandit, it was ecstatic eruptions because on one side was Krishna, on the other side was Radha, and in the middle is Bhagavatam, which is the book of ecstatic devotional love. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear this Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit during the daytime, and at night time be with Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda and hear Krishna Karanamrita of Bilva Mangala Thakur, he was absorbed all day and night. During the daytime, he was absorbed hearing from Gadadhar Pandit, and during night time, he was absorbed remembering what he had heard and developing his bhav in the presence of the greatest Sakhis, Lalita and Vishakha, who had appeared as Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued hearing, one day he was putting his finger into the sand and writing the name of Krishna. Because Radharani, in separation from Krishna in Vrindavan, on the banks of the Yamuna, would write the name of Krishna on the sand, because she would hear that the name of Krishna is none different from Krishna. So Radharani would pray to Yamuna that in the absence of Krishna, let me write the name of Krishna. And if the Shastra is true of Abhinna Nama Namino, let Krishna appear right now. So when Krishna was going through those sentiments of Radharani, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would be on the shore of Jagannath Puri, and with his hand, with his finger, he would scribble on that sand and he would write the name of Krishna. And one day as he was doing that, his hand hit something and he removed what he was trying to search, and it was the deity of Gopinath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Gadadhar Pandit and said, Gadadhar, you have taught me Bhagavatam. I have a reciprocative gift. Gadadhar Pandit said, I can take anything from your hand. What is it? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, after studying with you all day and realizing at night with the association of Swarup and Ramananda Rai, I want to present what I have realized through this. As his hand touched the floor, he had removed and discovered the deity of Gopinath. He gave it to Gadadhar Pandit. He said, this is my submission. I am offering whatever I have realized. You are my teacher. They are my classmates. What you teach, I learned with them. And what I have graduated is this degree of Gopinath. I offer it back to you. Gadadhar Pandit accepted this deity. And this deity was so dear to the heart of Gadadhar Pandit. He served Gopinath all his life. And when Gadadhar Pandit became so old that he couldn't reach the top of Gopinath because of his old age, he couldn't serve Gopinath properly. That Gopinath, the Lord of the Gopis, the Lord of Srimati Radharani, sat down with crossed legs, playing the flute, so that now Gadadhar Pandit in the form of Radharani can serve this deity comfortably. Gadadhar Pandit's love was so much that Gopinath sat down to facilitate and take the service from Gadadhar Pandit. But dear devotees, as we wrap up, we want to speak about what is the hidden mystery behind why Gopinath is sitting in front of Gadadhar Pandit. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Gopi Geet, the gopis were crying and weeping in separation from Krishna. And Krishna had left their association. And the gopis were there singing the Gopi Geet. And finally, in the last verse, Radharani cried, Yatte sujata charanamburu hamsthaneshu bhita shanai priyadadhi mahi karakasheshu tenatavim atati yad yathathena kimswit kurupati bir bhramati bir bhavadayu shamna. Radharani cried to Krishna and said, Oh Krishna, we left everything to come and serve you. But now when you have left us, there is no more purpose of our existence. Without serving Krishna, why should we be alive? Therefore, oh Krishna, I am giving up my body right now. And bhavadayu shamnaha, whatever little life I have left in this body, I benedict that to you so that you can be happy in Vrindavan. And I die. And as Radharani prepared to leave her body, Krishna came out from his hiding. And now when he came in, he was cornered by all the gopis. They all put cloth to welcome and told Krishna, please sit down and you're answerable to Radharani. Why you left her when she has come to meet you in the middle of the night? So Krishna sat there. He was surrounded by all the gopis. And Krishna sat there with folded cross-legged position. And he fell at the feet of Radharani and he offered his obeisances. Shukdev Goswami says, Tasam avir bhut shauri smayamana mukhambujam pitambara dharashragvi sakshat manmatha manmatha. That Krishna in Vrindavan, who escaped from the gopis but has now come back and is conquered by the love, in fact is now sitting on the ground begging forgiveness from the gopis. Na parayeham niravadya samyujam swasadhu krityam vibudhayu shapivaha Yama bhajan durjara geha shrinkalam samvrichayat tat pratiyatu sadhuna. Krishna said, even in the lifetime of Brahma, oh dear gopis headed by Radharani, I cannot reciprocate. May your service to me, the acceptance of your service, be my reciprocation. And when Krishna sat down and offered his obeisances of submission to Radharani, that form of Krishna pleases Radharani's heart the most, because Swadhina Bhartrika, she has completely won over Krishna's position. So therefore, when that Radharani appeared as Gadadhar Pandit, Krishna as Gopinath sat down on his, in a cross-legged position to reciprocate. Oh Radharani, do you remember the Krishna whom you love the most, who surrendered to you, is now sitting again in that same position to accept your service. In this way, Gaur and Gadadhar performed such beautiful pastimes. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed from this world, Gadadhar Pandit was bleeding in his heart and crying and weeping through his eyes in separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many times will Radharani bleed in separation from Krishna? Very soon after that, Gadadhar Pandit also left his, wound up and left his body, went back to the spiritual world. So in this way, so many mysteries of Radha and Krishna coming together as Chaitanya, but again Radharani coming as Gadadhar Pandit, coming in a male form as Gadadhar Pandit, and worshipping Gopinath in a cross-legged position and never leaving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout his pastimes. All of these mysteries have been answered by our acharyas. Books of Shivram Maharaj, Na Paraye Hum series, the Krishna in Vrindavan series, the Embankment of Separation and Krishna Mathura meets Vrindavan, these two books of Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj have very greatly benefited so many devotees to understand the non-difference of Krishna Lila and Gaur Lila. We want to bow down to Srila Prabhupada, such a mastermind in 2 months who benedicted the whole world with Chaitanya Charitamrita. If Chaitanya Charitamrita was not translated by Srila Prabhupada, all that we would have had are the Bengali verses. But I cannot understand Bengali. But because now it is translated in English, it is available in every temple. We can read them. And when we worship Chaitanya and Nityananda and Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasa, Panchatattva and chant their names before the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can realize what depth of philosophy that Prabhupada has benedicted all of us. As we wrap up, I want to say a very, very beautiful pastime of Prabhupada in England. As Prabhupada walked down in England with so many devotees with him, one British-bodied young devotee was also following Prabhupada. He was very scared. He thought Prabhupada will not talk to me because I don't know him much. But I wish I can ask Prabhupada some question. Prabhupada was speaking about Krishna, and as he walked down the street, there was a man sleeping on the bench. Prabhupada looked, he pointed his cane, and he said, by inconceivable good fortune, even souls sleeping on the bench will be uplifted in Kali Yuga. And Prabhupada just casually started walking. So this British-bodied young devotee, he immediately took this as his opportunity and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, by inconceivable good fortune, what does good fortune mean? I've read your books and you say there's nothing called as instinct or nothing called by chance or luck. Everything is by proper reasoning. So what does by inconceivable good fortune mean? Prabhupada was walking. He suddenly stopped. He turned around, looked straight into the eyes of this boy and said, we are their inconceivable good fortune. Prabhupada was so humble. Instead of saying, I am their good fortune, Prabhupada said, we are all their inconceivable good fortune, which means we must accept Prabhupada's books in our heart, absorb them like sponge. We should be drenched in the water of Prabhupada's books so that when we are squeezed, only these verses and these stories and these pages after pages of Prabhupada's philosophy comes out. Prabhupada wants us to practice it, absorb it, drench our heart with this taste, this rasa of Krishna Bhakti, and share it to the world. What pleasure is there in material things? It's all dull and dead with no rasa. But the Krishna Bhakti that Prabhupada has benedicted us with is filled with juice. I want to thank Srila Prabhupada for kindly blessing us with this very beautiful gift that we are, that has made this human form worth living. Last but not the least, I want to offer my obeisances to very great senior disciples of Prabhupada, like His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, who have lived all their life surrendering every single thing to Srila Prabhupada. I offer my obeisances to all the devotees who have joined us this evening. Please forgive me for going over time. If there was anything that good that inspired your heart, it's only coming from the glorious works that I mentioned and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And if there were mistakes, I will be very, very happy if the devotees can kindly correct me. Thank you very much. I open up the floor for any comments or corrections, and I pass on the mic back to Neelam Mani Prabhu or Madan Gopal Prabhu as the host. Thank you so much for engaging me into tonight's service.
Haribol, thank you very much, Amarendra Prabhu. And on behalf of all the devotees who gathered here today, we had about 245 here and then about another 30 additional on YouTube. So we're very grateful to all of you assembled to hear this nectarian katha. Amarendra Prabhu was very powerfully just grabbed us out of our seats in wherever geographic location we are and put us directly into the laps of Mahaprabhu and his intimate pastimes, and helped us appreciate what not only Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given us, but most importantly, what Srila Prabhupada has given us, and he capped it off with a nice cherry on top with the sweet pastime of Srila Prabhupada and his incredible mercy and sweetness. So thank you so much, Amarendra Prabhu. We always look forward to hearing from you, and we are inspired by your depth of humility and just incredible flow of nectar that gushes forth from your excited heart. And we feel excited when you see your excited face. So thank you very much. It's very contagious. This is the kind of thing we like to be more contagious about. And there's certain things, we're trying to avoid, but we appreciate all the wonderful contagious nectar that you give us. Thank you very much. So it is 9:30 right now. Before everyone leaves, I want to make a couple of announcements. So we were kicking off our weekend early with Amarendra Prabhu, and the power-packed weekend continues tomorrow. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami, who's actually present here with us, he will be continuing our weekend on this channel. Tomorrow at 8 p.m., we'll continue our katha on the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Saturday afternoon, so these are all the US Eastern time. So please make a note, and I've pasted all this in our chat if you want to reference it on the same channel. Saturday, 1 p.m., His Holiness Sachinandana Swami from Germany is going to be addressing us on the topic of every crisis bears within it an opportunity. And then on the same day, Saturday, His Grace Gauranga Prabhu at 8 p.m., talking about climbing the ladder of determination. If you're looking for ways to be more determined, this is the class you should hear, 8 p.m. Saturday. Then Sunday morning, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami from India. So that's 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. And then Sunday evening, 6 p.m., Her Grace Rukmini Devidasi, Rukmini Mataji, on the topic of paradoxes on the path, lessons from loss. So some very intriguing and incredible topics on this channel. And we have katha every single day, 7 days a week, live from this channel of ISKCON New Jersey, Shri Gauranitai Mandir. So please join us. You have this link, it's the same link. And you can visit our website, iskonofnewjersey.org. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, limiting sir.
એને પેલું નેટફ્લિક્સ માં કરી આપી બેહી રે એનું ચાર્જર પતાઈ દીધું એટલે મારે
જરૂર નથી કારણ કે
હા પુરુષ મનો
બોનથી જતું